My name is Ellie Carter. I'm 32 years old, and I swear to God, what I'm going to tell you here it's crazy in my head. It may seem like it, and maybe you think I'm making it up, but after that night I no longer doubt anything. It was on a Thursday, end of October. My little sister Jenna and I decided to take a few days for us. It was her birthday, and since we lost our mother in last winter, we promised to take these hunting trips at least once a year. We grew up hunting, with our father in West Virginia, among the tall pines and the rusty train tracks. Since he passed, it has become our own tradition. Jenna was the opposite of me. While I ended up in the city, working in an office law firm in Cincinnati, she stayed there, in the same trailer where we grew up, taking care of the old man's hunting dogs, smoking Marlboro Red, and changing oil truck with grease-stained hands. But when we met, it was like if time stopped, as if nothing had changed. This time, we chose to go north, close to the border with Pennsylvania, a place called Whispering Pines, one of those densely forested areas without much movement, almost all dirt roads, and only the occasional gas station lost in the map. Perfect for deer hunting, according to Jenna, and to escape all the shit in life a few days, according to my mind. We left late in the afternoon. I drove, as always, because Jenna is good at a lot, but I don't trust her behind a steering wheel if my life depended on it. From that, she sat in the passenger seat with her dirty boots resting on the dashboard and a beer already opened in your lap. "You should stop drinking on the road," I said, "and you should stop being so annoying, Ellie." She shot back, winking. "Relax. Today is just between us and the pines." The road leading to Whispering Pines was long and deserted, crumbled asphalt, surrounded by trees that seemed to lean over the car, as if they wanted to hide the sky. And the further we went, the more the cell phone signal disappeared. At first it was funny. Jenna put Johnny Cash on the radio. We sang along. He remembered traveling with his father. But when the sun began to disappear behind the mountains and the blue sky turned black, I started to feel something, as if something was waiting, as if the forest had memory. "We should have arrived soon," I muttered, staring at the GPS, which had frozen for hours. "Back. Relax. Keep an eye on the gas station sign. That's where we get on the trail," Jenna, he said, looking out the window with a cigarette dangling from the corner of his mouth. But there was no sign. I didn't have a post. There was only the road and the silence. Finally, we saw an old building on the right, one of those posts on the edge of road, with a broken gas pump, an unlit sign, and a wheelchair empty swing on the shop's porch. I pulled over the car. The night was already cold, and a thin fog was beginning to form. "Let's ask where the trail is," Jenna said, jumping out. "Are you kidding? This place has been closed for years," I said, leaving as well. But she was already climbing the porch steps. I followed behind, a little upset, looking around. It was as if the forest had swallowed everything there. No sound, neither cricket, not even wind, nor civilization. Jenna knocked on the wooden door. Nothing. She knocked again. That's when the door opened, on its own, creaking like a B horror movie. Jenna laughed. "Check it out. Warm welcome. This isn't normal," I said, clutching the coat tighter to my chest. "Neither are we." She entered, and against every instinct of self-preservation I thought I had, I went for it. Inside, the air was heavy. It smells like something damp, musty, like a cellar locked by decades. The shelves were covered in dust, rusty cans, bags of chips expired, nothing touched in a long time. But the strange thing was the light. There was a weak, yellowish light coming from the back of the store, like a lamp. "Is anyone there?" I screamed. No response, but for a second I swear I heard it. A whisper, weak, as if coming from inside my own head. "Come back." I got goosebumps all over. "Did you hear that?" I asked Jenna. She looked at me seriously. For the first time, I heard it, but the voice I heard said something else. "Like this?" She hesitated. She said, "Move on." We didn't stay at the station for long. 30 seconds after we heard those whispers, the light that came from deep inside went out. Not like someone turned it off. It was as if she had been swallowed by darkness in the blink of an eye, and the silence remained thicker, as if it had weight. Jenna grabbed my arm. "Let's get out of here." I didn't even respond. I just turned and headed towards the door, and she followed. Outside, the air, it felt colder, wetter, as if the fog had grown in a matter of seconds. Seconds. It climbed the trees and licked the road like a living thing. We got into the car without saying anything. And when I tried to start the engine, nothing. "You're kidding me," I whispered, turning the key again. The engine choked, coughed, and died. "That truck was perfect, Ellie," Jenna said nervously. "I know you were." I tried again. Nothing. She got out, cursing, went to the front and opened the hood. I went after and helped to illuminate with the cell phone. There was nothing visibly wrong. Everything seemed in place, but I knew something was wrong. Time seemed doubled, slow, as if the seconds were twice the size. I looked at the pine trees and I swear there was something deep down there. Shadows, moving slowly, as if they had all the time in the world. "Plan B is to walk," Jenna said. "What?" "You heard. The trail must be less than half a mile from here. We sleep there on the cabin. Tomorrow morning fix this car." "The problem is now, Jenna. Can't you feel it? There's something wrong with this place." She looked at me seriously. And that's when I realized, even Jenna, the tough one, was scared. "This is why we need to get out of here," she said. "Staying in this empty post surrounded of forest, waiting for nothing? Not fucking. We follow the trail." I hesitated, but the fear of standing there was worse. We grabbed our backpacks and flashlights and left the truck. The forest waited. The trees seemed taller than before, tighter together. We walk in silence, the beams of the flashlights cutting through the fog. The sound of our footsteps was the only noise. No cricket, no owl, no wind, just our heavy breathing. After a while, we found the trailhead. A wooden sign with the almost illegible name, Cabin Trail, 700 meters. "There, see?" Jenna smiled. "We are on the right path." But when she touched the sign, a huge pitch-black crow flew out from the branch above and let out a scream that chilled me to the core. It was a strange sound. It wasn't just a quack. It was as if it were a word, a scratchy, guttural no. The crow flew in circles above us and disappeared in the opposite direction to the trail. Jenna stood still for a moment, her jaw clenched. Then he swallowed hard and continued on front. I followed, with my heart beating like a drum. The trail was narrow and closed. The branches touched our shoulders. The roots, they stuck out of the earth like fingers trying to grab our feet. The lantern shook in mine hand. The air was heavy. Every step was like walking into a bad dream, where everything seemed slower and denser than it should. That's when we heard it. Basic, above the treetops, hitting the air, slow, powerful, like the sound of candles rotating. But I couldn't see anything in the dark. Stops, both. "Did you hear that?" I asked, almost voiceless. "I heard, but it could be an owl, Ellie. Owls don't have 2-meter wingspans." She looked at me, and at that exact moment, we heard it again. Not above, back. A branch snapping, heavy, as if something big had stepped on it. "Run," she said. "We don't question it." We ran along the trail, branches cutting us, backpack hitting our backs, the sound of wings getting closer, and then a scream behind us. An inhuman scream. It followed us for several minutes. I can't say how many, but when finally we saw the light of the cabin between the trees, my whole body was already shaking. We slammed the door, locked it with the iron lock. Jenna fell to the floor, panting. The cabin was small but solid, made of dark wood, with a fireplace, 2 sofas, an old double bed and a makeshift kitchen. There was no electricity, but we had oil lanterns in the corner. We tried to calm our breathing. "Did you see that?" I asked. "No, but I heard it." She slowly got up and went to the window. He sank his fingers into the curtain and peered outside. And then he turned pale. "There's something in the trees," she whispered. "And she's looking over here." Jenna stood there, looking through the crack in the curtain, her face half in shadow, half in shadow. Flickering light from the oil lantern. I stood behind her, waiting for her to say something, anything. "What did you see?" I asked. My voice trailed off. She took her time. "There's something standing among the pines. It looks human, but big, really big. There's something on your back, like wings. And the eyes, Ellie, the eyes are so shining." I felt a cold rise from the soles of my feet to the back of my neck. I moved away from the window. as if the fact that being close was dangerous. I locked the second lock on the door. I pushed the couch against her. Jenna did the same with the dresser, the two of us in silence, as if any sound called more of that to us. Close. Time passed slowly. The clock on the wall didn't make any noise. The wind outside was absent, and yet the trees moved, as if they were breathing. That's when we heard the flapping of wings, heavy, rhythmic, flying in circles over the cabana. Then, silence. And then, something scratched the roof, like claws. Jenna picked up the shotgun. I picked up our father's hunting knife, the blade shaking in its grip. My hand. We tried not to panic, but it was useless. We were locked inside an invisible enclosure of nightmare. The forest wanted us there, and the worst, she seemed to know us. "Do you remember, Dad?" I murmured. "That story he told about the winged men? It was just a drunk thing. He said he saw one, Jenna, that they took people who didn't belong in the forest." She was silent for a few seconds. Then he nodded. Maybe he wasn't lying. A thump outside made us jump. Something hit the cabin wall, loudly, enough to shake the ground. Another thump, and another, until a tear opened in the wood on the side. A claw, long, curved, black as oil. Jenna took aim with the shotgun. I screamed. The thing growled, a deep, guttural sound that reverberated inside the chest, like the sound of an old engine or muffled thunder, and the eyes, two white lanterns in the dark. They stared at us. "Fire, Jenna!" I screamed. She fired. The bang was deafening. The creature retreated but did not fall. I heard the flapping of wings again, and she disappeared into the darkness, but not for long. "We won't make it until dawn," Jenna said, reloading. That's when something clicked inside me. Fear, yes, but also an ancient fury, buried deep inside. The same one that appeared when we buried our father, when we saw our mother wasting away without help, when everyone who could have stretched out his hand. He watched. "They want us because we survived, because we don't belong anywhere, none," I said. "So they're going to have to fight for it. We took what we could. Fire, do, lead." And we opened the door. The forest swallowed us. And there, amid the mist and the biting cold, we saw them. 3, winged, high, thin as dry bones, skin like burnt leather, the eyes like white headlights, and wings that seemed made of shadows. They came. We fight. It was ugly. It was insane. I don't remember everything, just flashes. Claws running close to the face, Jenna sticking the knife in one of them's chest, black blood, a scream that made my ribs hurt. And then silence. The day dawned slowly, and there's only the two of us left. Dirty, bloody, shaking, but live. The forest was different, quiet, but not threatening, as if I had done what needed to do. We went back to the road. The truck started on the first try. The gas station sign was no longer there. Neither does the trail. Nothing, as if everything had been swallowed. On the way back, Jenna was silent. Until near the city, she said, "They will come back." I just replied, "So we wait."